VTubing is one of the most expensive ways to get into live streaming, with costs stacking up at every stage of the process. First, you need to hire an artist to design your model, and if you want something high quality, that alone can cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Then comes the rigging. Paying someone to make sure your model moves naturally with your tracking software, which is another very costly investment. And that doesn't even cover the expenses of the necessary software, hardware, and additional assets you may need to recreate a fully immersive experience for your audience. If you're aiming for a top-tier setup, you could easily spend as much as a full high-end gaming PC just on your model alone. But what if there was an alternative? Something that didn't just reduce the cost, but also opened up entirely new creative possibilities. That's where inZOI comes in. Developed by Krafton, inZOI is a life simulation game that uses Unreal Engine 5's Metahumans to create incredibly realistic characters. While its primary purpose is as a game, I've had the opportunity to experiment with inZOI in an entirely different way to match my needs, as a tool for live streaming, or as I like to call it, Vtubing.
Raging heart fights fleeting peace, so sunshine, some joy!
The Character Studio features integrations like LiveLink Face for facial tracking and Warudo for body movement and custom animations. Warudo allows you to use pre-made animations from their catalog or upload your own, meaning you can fully customize your character's movements to suit your streaming needs. From my early access experience, one of the most intriguing features in the studio right now is the AI-powered animation tool that allows you to upload a video or photo, and then the AI attempts to generate an animation from it. And this is promising technology, but it's not quite perfect yet. For example, I tried using a still image of Jill Valentine, and the AI struggled with hand positioning. The fingers were oddly placed, and making a fist was completely impossible. This is likely due to how AI interprets depth and joint articulation, which is still an ongoing challenge in machine learning models. When I tested the video uploads, however, I had better luck. I used motion captures of Cammy White from Street Fighter, and the AI successfully recreated kicks and walking motions. However, the hand issue persisted, with fists and precise finger placement still being a weak point. That being said, it's important to focus on the potential of this technology rather than its current limitations. AI-generated animations have advanced at an insane pace. Just looking at how early AI-generated videos like the infamous Will Smith eating spaghetti looked, and only a few months later, AI was doing so much better we couldn't tell the difference between what was real and what wasn't. So, it's safe to assume that these issues will be ironed out in the future of inZOI. Even right now, with some adjustments and trial and error, you can still get decent results. And I am not even touching on the subject that this technology is actually made so that you can emote and move within the game, which is revolutionary in itself. I'm only covering the studio and the possibilities for VTubing right now. I am not even talking about the actual ambition of this game. Warudo's hand tracking integration is another area with room for improvement. Although the hand tracking itself is not necessarily AI driven, the translation process between RideLive, which is the tracking software, Warudo, and inZOI creates some oddities. One major issue is that fingers often deform, and the software struggles to interpret whether your hand is open or in a relaxed state, which causes a constant squeeze-like motion, Thriller Night motion. And sometimes your fingers just distort in every direction. Additionally, if you try to touch your face, the tracking doesn't always align correctly, meaning your virtual hand won't land on your virtual face, and this is likely due to discrepancies in depth perception and hand tracking data processing. Despite these quirks, the fact that finger tracking is even an option means that there's so much room for it to evolve into something incredibly advanced with the right updates and resources. Vtubing isn't just about streaming either. inZOI Studio allows you to create custom scenes complete with overlays and action-oriented animations, making it a powerful tool for visual media beyond live broadcasting. Warudo's animation catalog offers situational movements that, with some fine-tuning and calibration, can look surprisingly natural. While the character customization options are still somewhat limited, especially in terms of hairstyles, accessories, tattoo layering, and clothing, it's worth remembering that the game is still in early access, and I fully expect these features to expand over time, making it easier to create a Zois that truly feels uniquely yours. But what truly sets inZOI apart from traditional VTubing isn't just the level of realism, it's the cost. The reality is that high-quality VTubing models are so expensive. inZOI offers a much cheaper alternative, making high-quality avatars accessible to people who may not have the privilege of a budget for a custom VTuber model. You can get something like CodeMiko has without having to spend thousands of dollars like CodeMiko has. That said, there is a trade-off: performance requirements. Because inZOI runs on Unreal Engine 5, streaming as a ZoiTuber is incredibly taxing on your PC. If you're running a single PC setup, you might struggle with performance unless you're playing a very lightweight game like Magic the Gathering or Balatro. A dual PC setup is the best way to go if you want to avoid lags or crashes while streaming, although I personally have not crashed from VTubing with inZOI yet. Between inZOI itself, OBS, chat overlays, and the game you're playing, and whatever else you have running on your PC at the time, a lower-end PC just isn't going to cut it. A dual PC setup is the best way to go. Even with that limitation, inZOI is poised to shake up the VTubing scene in a huge way. For the first time, there is an option outside of the traditional anime-style avatars, giving people who want a more realistic look or just simply cannot afford a decent VTuber a way to express themselves without breaking the bank. If the tools keep improving and the hardware catches up, this could very well mark the beginning of a huge shift in live streaming and VTuber culture. We're looking at the beginning of something that has the potential to be huge, and I, for one, am so excited to see where it goes. inZOI Character Studio is currently available on Steam for download, and the early access for inZOI is going to be open on the 27th of March 2025. I will leave the links in the description. If you enjoyed the video or if you have any questions, write them down below, give the video a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.